So welcome back to Lesson 64, the BiOptimizers Healing Health and High Performance Program, your complete guide to biological optimization. And today we're going to talk about emotional freedom technique, or EFT. And basically it's how to let go of the past with this weird trick. It involves tapping on your body when you're having an emotional state that's not serving you, or maybe you're having something that's compromising how you feel. You get one of those bad states. Well, science has proven that there is a way by tapping on your body in a specific patterns that you're able to quickly clear and let go of these, non-productive emotional states. And I first heard about this in books and everything, and I frankly, I didn't buy into it first until my business partner, Matt, says to me, "Hey, Wade, you got to check this out. This is amazing." And he started using it. So we're going to make a cut to him so that we can show you what he's taught me better than me telling you that. So we'll see you on this next video right now.
So welcome back to the BiOptimizers Healing Health and High Performance Vibe. Today we're going to talk about emotional freedom technique, and I know, Matt, you're a master in this, and so I wanted to bring you in. Matt's, of course, one of the business partners here at BiOptimizers, and it's amazing how this technique works for just kind of getting rid of bad feelings and emotions. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, and first of all, let me talk about how to use it or when you're going to use it in your BiOptimizer journey. There's going to be times, especially maybe with your weight loss journey, if you want to lose, let's say 20, 30, 40, 50 pounds. There's going to be times maybe where you're disappointed with some news that you receive or some data.
Oh yeah, been there. Yeah, been there.
I was there very recently. So yeah, when you face those types of events that are emotionally painful, most people will just repress.
Right. That was one of the things that I used to do a lot of times, is just repress stuff.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You know.
Most people just don't want to feel the pain, so it's normal. I mean, listen, right? Nobody wants to feel the pain except if you're really masochistic. But the key is, if you actually want to get rid of the pain long term, the best strategy is to stay with it. So there's been a lot of different names.
So what do you mean by that? Like, stay with it. What does that mean?
Yeah, be present with it. Embrace, almost, I want to say embrace it,
Okay.
Embrace it in the sense that you're not trying to push it away. You're not trying to change it. You're not trying to do anything but accept the pain, but knowing that the longer you stay with it, the more it drops. So for an example, if I receive some shocking news, right away maybe it's a 7 or it's an 8. And that's a great place to start with the technique, is rate the subjective discomfort level from a scale of 1 to 10.
Okay, so like 10 is the end of the world. There's a comet going to hit the planet in 30 seconds. It's over.
You think you're done. Yeah, you think everybody's done.
Right.
That's the worst. 7 or 8 is a lot of pain. You're really feeling brokenhearted. You're feeling pretty destroyed.
Right.
5, 6, you're in pain.
It's uncomfortable.
It's uncomfortable. It's hurting. And then obviously it goes down to 0, or you're free.
Right.
So that's the first thing you want to do, is get present with where the pain level is.
On an emotional level, you're talking about here.
Yes.
It's not a physical pain. This is
Correct.
an emotional pain.
Yeah, this is completely talking about dealing with emotional pain in a really healthy way.
Okay.
So you start with that, and let's say you're at a 7. Okay, so that's fine. You're at a 7. We're accepting that, and there's a great technique to start the process, and that's to play the video. Okay, so playing the video means you think and picture and literally play the movie in your head of the event that's causing the pain.
So if I had this bad event or this thing that's giving me emotional pain, I literally go into and rerun my mental experience of that real life event.
Right. Now the trick is you only do it once, maybe twice. Like, let's say you're not feeling anything, but you want to do some emotional work, and you play the movie once in your head and you're still not feeling the pain, then maybe play it twice. But as soon as you feel the pain, you stop playing the movie.
Okay.
It's a big mistake. You don't want to be reminiscing and get lost.
So do you do the emotional part when the pain peaks, or when it starts in the movie?
Well, you play the movie And the idea is that you want to intensify the pain.
Okay. Wow. So I want to amp it up when I hit that point.
Well, once you get good at emotional freedom techniques, you do.
Wow. Okay. So.
Yeah, you want to amp it up. If you're just getting started and you're feeling pain, you don't need to amp it up. Just start where you are.
Why do you do that?
Because I really want to get to the core of it. I want to get to the bottom of it. You know, I don't want to leave little chunks behind. So when I'm going to tackle it, I want to feel the full brunt of that pain. I'm not going to try to mask it or weave and bob around it. I really want to go down to the core of it, and then from there get out of it.
Okay. So and why would we be doing this in the first place? Like, what is? I know you got the bad news, but somehow I feel like oftentimes pain points, especially when it comes to your health or fitness and that sort of. These are kind of triggers that may have been long-lasting things. Is that the reason?
Yeah, well, we're both big Dr. David Hawkins students,
Yeah.
and one of the things that he talks about is that when we feel pain, like let's say you're driving in traffic and somebody cuts you off and you just lose it,
Right.
you get really upset. You're not, what you're feeling in that moment is the upsetness of all the drivers that cut you off.
Right, there's
You're reliving that.
There's an associated pain. Your brain goes to all of the associations that, or if you had a traumatic experience that happened to you.
Yeah, maybe a car accident.
Right, so all of a sudden you get a little careful and you panic because you had an accident a few months ago and you got that kind of shell shock vibe, right?
Right. So, and for example, let's say you weigh yourself on the scale and you didn't lose weight the last 2 weeks.
Right, and everybody's been there, and especially when you think you're doing everything right, and it's just like, oh man, like this isn't working. The negative feelings, the cascade of hormones happens, all that stuff happens, and a lot of people, I think, emotionally are locked into these bad hormonal cascades that actually prevent them even when they're doing things right.
Yeah, and like you'd think, man, I just wasted 2 weeks of my life. I went to the gym 10 times. I worked my ass off. I've been eating clean. I didn't eat the Ben and Jerry's ice cream.
Right.
I did all these things.
Right.
So it's a lot of pain, usually,
Yeah.
right? I mean, you've been there, I've been there. There's a lot of times where we don't get the short-term result that we think we deserve.
Right.
And that hurts.
Yeah.
So that's a great example. So let's take that example and work from there.
Okay.
So the first thing you do, you close your eyes. I'm gonna play the movie. So I've been training. I trained for 2 weeks. I did all this stuff. I imagine myself, doing this crazy workout 10 times. I imagine, giving up and in my head sacrificing all my, maybe a few of my favorite foods, watching what I ate, and I still didn't get the result. Okay, so that brings up pain. So the second step is be very clear where you're feeling the pain. So for me, for an example, I feel a lot of pain right behind my sternum. That's where I feel it 80% of the time.
Right.
Where do you feel pain in your body when you're upset?
That's a good question. Sometimes I never really thought about it, but yeah, I think that'd be about the same thing. I feel it's kind of like a tightness in my chest almost, right? It's kind of like a contracting in like this feeling.
Well, that's what you just described. That's where you want to go with it. You want to actually describe it. It's a tightness in my chest. It's like a fur ball in my throat. It's like a burning sensation in my stomach. It's like butterflies. It's like tingling. It's like pressure pushing.
Right, whatever the description is in your own languaging for your own self, that's what you go. So it's like, for example, maybe something really sad, you get the kind of lump in your throat, right? That choking kind of vibe, right?
Yeah. Or if you're nervous before a big event, you get the butterflies in your stomach. Right. Too. So these feelings, you go right to that. You get out of your head. That's an important piece. This is not a process of the mind. We're not trying to analyze why you're feeling pain. We're not trying to analyze why the event happened or why it shouldn't have happened. We go right past all that.
Yeah, we don't want to be thinking so much. We just want to be feeling.
None at all. Exactly. It's all about feeling. We're going to go right to the body. We're going right to really the source of the pain.
And that's why they call this emotional freedom technique, right?
Yeah.
Because it's about releasing the negative emotions.
Correct.
Okay, great.
So I go to the feeling. It's powerful to describe it, and I'm just going to stay with it. So at the simplest form, I'm going to show you some of my favorite techniques to accelerate this process. And I want to not warn people, but make sure that people don't get confused if you go out there. There's a lot of people that have branded this and added their own little things. For an example, some people add tapping to it. Some people, hit meridians. Some people call it the Sedona method. Some people call it the Gallant technique. It's all the same thing.
Okay.
And the core of it, and again, there's different little marketing envelopes and packaging that
Comes
people
around
do.
it, right?
And that's all marketing, if you will. And I'm not saying they don't accelerate things, but the core of it is you just literally stay with the sensation until it's gone. So for example, I'm feeling this tightness in my chest. I like to put my hand above the area, kind of connects me to the area.
Mm-hmm.
And I just literally stay with it. And I'm going to show you again some things that I found accelerates the process. But it's just that simple. You could just do that.
Just holding it wherever that pain is,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'm feeling it. I've got it amped up, and I'm just staying in that place without really thinking, just feeling it until it starts to dissolve.
Yeah, that's perfectly described.
And then when it completely dissolves,
Well, when it gets to about a 1,
okay,
or less than a 1, you can stop there, because I've found from experience that I usually get to like 0.5, and then the rest will dissipate. And sometimes you just go right down to 0 and you're fine.
right,
But and here's the thing, right? When you first do this, because you've never done this before, because you've never worked on this part of yourself before, it might take 15 minutes to tackle a big issue or a big source of pain. But with time, like for me now, maybe it takes 3 to 5 minutes on average. So you just get better at it because you've worked on these big stacks, right? These big emotional stacks of pain that really have never been dealt with, right? So this is the first time in your life that you're facing it, that you're embracing it, that you're feeling it, that you're dealing with it. And if you've never done that, well, you're not going to be that good at it.
right. Of course, it's like anything else. Is that process of learning that you got to go through. You got to go through the uncomfortable zones, the 4 levels, which we talked about in one of the other lessons. The four stages of competency, right, or learning. So.
Right. Yeah. So so when you start off, you definitely you have to be consciously competent, and it takes a while. But so let's talk about things to accelerate it. So first thing is the breathing. You're a big proponent. Well, we are a big proponent of breathing. It's one of the habits. So there's some specific things that I've found really work, and one of them is holding the breath. So specifically, I'll inhale, fill my lungs. I really want to fill the chest. I really want to fill the chest because I want pressure from within pushing out.
Pushing the pain out almost, right?
Yeah. Like when I feel pain in my sternum, if I fill it up and I hold, well, it's like it's putting pressure on the pressure.
Yep. Okay, that makes sense.
And for me, I've found that accelerates the process.
Okay.
So that's the big one. So that's the first piece. So I'll go in, I'll breathe. So now let's add another big component, and this is a spiritual component. Dr. Hawkins says that Om, said properly, calibrates at 700 on the scale of consciousness, which is very high, and spiritual masters have been oming for eons.
Right.
So,
and all this is in Power versus Force, his book, David Hawkins, and that sort of stuff, in his series.
So check the links below and for the reference links to what the books that we're referring to. But definitely one of the books we recommend is all of David Hawkins' books. So you breathe, and then on the exhale, I'm going to om.
Wow.
So,
Yeah, it's cool. It's good. It feels good.
But yeah, well, that's how you're accelerating the process.
Right.
Because we're adding spiritual power to the mix.
Right.
So,
and this is just on a physiological, the vibratory feeling that you feel. There's a resonance there.
I literally feel like almost all my cells just like
kind of vibrating.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Try it.
I mean,
don't knock it till you tried it.
Yeah, maybe you're thinking, wow, these guys are weird, right? Two guys on the couch staying home, but it's one of these things where when you experience it, when you do it, and you do it, do it 3 times in a row like that, like inhale as much as you can, and really when you ohm, it's from the chest. Don't ohm up here, ohm down here where it's like vibrating.
Vibrating, yeah. I do a lot of ohming in the shower actually. I don't know why, it just sounds great.
You get the reverb, right? From the tiles.
Yeah.
So that's a big one. That's one of the things that I've played with, and it's a huge accelerator. The other things which a lot of people have their own versions of this is tapping the body.
Right.
I do a variety of things. I'll actually spin on top. I might even do this, which is more of a Reiki technique. I'll like in my head, I'm like grabbing the energy, throwing it away. If it's really deep, I'll pound my chest, and especially with my lung full. So I'll go home, and then do that technique.
Right, throw it to it.
Yeah, like I'm just doing all of it.
And this could be an individual thing that you should experiment. Some people might just feel a different way, and that's okay.
Yeah, this is just, try it all, see what you feel. Just be intuitive with it at first. You can try all these different techniques, see which ones you resonate with, and there's no set rule except stay with it.
Right, and the other thing I think though for people watching is this is not something that you want to be in your head about, really. This is about being in the feeling. So, and for some people that's kind of an odd idea, but try it.
Yeah, just be present. And here's the thing, right? Within 10-15 minutes, you're going to take that pain, that emotional pain, right down to zero, or close to zero, and it's done. It's done. It's gone. Again, most people, they throw it under the couch and think that it's gone. It's not. It's still there under the couch.
Right. The repression. That's when you're talking repression of something.
And it usually compounds over time because you have these compounding, unresolved emotions that are building up. So it's really not healthy at all. So it's a big freedom. It's a big opportunity to let go of all this repressed pain, and the clearance that happens. And I think on the health level,
that's huge.
We can't prove this. We don't have any studies, but there's a lot of people that believe that there's a psychosomatic connection. For example, anger and cancer.
Right.
Things like that.
Right. Louise Hay, You Can Heal Your Life, talks about the unconscious emotions associated with everything from ankle pain up to serious illnesses. I think it's a great book, You Can Heal Your Life by Hay House, Louise Hay.
Check the link below.
Yeah, so I think that's powerful. So to just review, to recap for everybody watching, okay, so you want to go through just the 1, 2, 3, 4 on the process.
Yeah, so first of all, play the movie.
Yep, play the movie.
Again, 30 seconds.
Yep, max.
Number 2, rate the pain.
Rate the pain.
1 to 10.
Yep.
Subjective discomfort or subjective levels of pain.
Yep.
Third, go localize it in your body. Be very, and the more specific, the better. And again, not analyzing the video. You're not analyzing the video. You're analyzing or describing what's happening in your body.
Right. The feeling. Where? The feeling.
The sensation.
Where? The sensation.
The physical sensation.
Right.
Is burning.
And you label it as sensation, not necessarily pain, correct?
Right. It's a sensation.
Okay. Right.
That helps, right? It's just a sensation. So I'm describing the sensation, becoming aware of it, and then I just stay with it. And then obviously you can add the breathing. The breathing's powerful. Add the ohming. Ohming definitely helps. And then you can try touching, tapping, spinning, throwing,
whatever that is. Yeah.
Whatever you want.
Kind of go with what feels right.
Yeah, and then, every couple of minutes, rate the pain. Like, okay, where am I at right now? I'm a 3. And then 2 minutes later, I'm a 1, and then like 2 minutes later, I'm a 0.2, right? So you just keep rating, and you'll see that it's just going down. That's why we rate the pain in the first place. so that we can kind of at least mentally track the process.
And typically, how long would something like this take?
Again, in the beginning, expect 10 to 15 minutes, but with some work, you'll get down to 3 to 5.
Wow, that's impressive. So there you have it. I guess emotional freedom technique. I think it's I know Matt, I've always been impressed with your knowledge around these things, and I know that you've used this a lot, both in your physical career, your business career, your personal life. You've applied it to a lot of areas, and I think it's a lot of value to our viewers here in BiOptimizers about a technique that can really help you kind of find your super self, that higher level of function, and also exploring the unconscious associations with health and high performance and how to heal yourself, these type of things. So
yeah, there's no doubt that this process will increase your emotional quotient, your EQ. There's no doubt that you'll be a happier human being because you're going to process all these things that might be preventing you from being as happy as you can. And I think really it's also going to help you become a healthier human being because again, we don't want these low calibrating negative emotions affecting our bodies, which I think they do.
Right on. So any closing thoughts?
No, just try it out. It's really simple. It's one of these techniques that's changed my life the most. There's a lot of things that I could directly tell you that my life would not be today if I hadn't done this. And again, it's really simple. Just stay with the pain until it's gone. Try it out.
Well, thanks, Matt. Great having you here. I know we'll have you back on the show a lot of times. And of course, make sure you check out the rest of the lessons with BiOptimizers. It's great. You're doing really well staying with us. And as you know, we'll see you on the next lesson.
So there you have it. You have emotional freedom technique. Who knew that you could tap your way to a better emotional state? Well, what I can say is I've used the technology and it's certainly worked for me and it's worked for hundreds and thousands of our students. So I hope you give it a try the next time you're having a tough emotional day, and be sure to give us your feedback and let us know how it worked for you. We'll see you on the next lesson.